Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here today. Today's video, it's yet another first impressions video. I have a bunch of new makeup here, although it is more of a mix of high-end and drugstore. So my last couple videos ago was a first impressions of drugstore. So I have some more drugstore in here, but a lot more high-end. That's just kind of how these next couple months, I guess, are gonna roll, because at the beginning of the year, brands release a ton of new stuff. They release their new lines and things like that. But I'm really excited because trying out new makeup is one of my favorite things. It's just so fun for me to kind of test different products and see new formulas and that kind of a thing. It's just something that I really enjoy doing. Before we get into the video, make sure that if you have not yet, that you are subscribed to my channel and that you've rung the bell so that you can be notified when I upload videos. Make sure that you're also following me on social media, which I will be putting right here below. Like the video? Yeah, like the video if you enjoyed it, if you enjoy this content. I'm not really sure how this is gonna go, but if you do enjoy it, please do like it. And let me know how you felt about it in the comments down below. The last first impressions video, it wasn't the best. I found a couple things I liked in there, but it was a little rough. It was a little rough. So I'm hoping this one might go a little better. So pray for me. Okay, let's get started. I've got you guys nice and zoomed in. I am still recovering from my intense breakout I had the other week, so enjoy my healing scars here and all over my face and my healing eczema, so it's just life. So first up, we're gonna go straight into foundation. I have a new foundation here, and I didn't have a new primer, and two, I didn't want to put any other primer on so that I can really tell just how this foundation reacts without having anything underneath it that could change it. So this is the Stila Tinted Moisturizer Skin Balm, and I have the shade 3 here. This is really interesting. I've seen cream foundations in a pot. We obviously have also seen liquid foundations, very basic, in a bottle, powder foundations in a compact, but I have not seen a poured cream tinted moisturizer claiming to be a tinted moisturizer in a pan. So that's interesting. Let me actually tell you a little bit about this product, because this is kind of a weird one. So this is supposed to fortify skin, it's moisturizing, blah, 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 blah. So it's supposed to give sheer to medium coverage with a natural sheen. It's designed for sensitive skin, okay. It's supposed to restore skin's moisture barrier. And I'm interested because I don't really know how I'm supposed to apply this product. So it actually says on Ulta, apply with a fluffy brush. Swirl brush over balm and lightly stroke on the skin, blending outwards from the center of the face. Anyway, I have the shade 3. It looks a little yellow and dark, but the shade 2 was really pink and too light for me. So I'm hoping that this will be a little bit better. Let's do this brush. This is just an IT Cosmetics brush. It is densely packed, but it's not as dense as like some of my other foundation brushes. So let's see, which one is the most fluffy, non-dense? I think this one is, yeah. And I do have my sponge here, so I tend to really go over my foundation after I apply it with a brush with a sponge. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. If I need to, I guess, I don't know. But let's just put it on and see what kind of coverage we can get out of this thing. So dip into it. Okay, really swirling it in there because it is kind of, like, I wanna make sure it's warmed up so that a good amount of product is coming off. Okay, it feels like a moisturizer. Like, it feels truly like there's not makeup being put on not like there's makeup being put on my skin. Interesting. I wonder how much I can build this up. And you know, I'm concentrating it on those spots where I'm kind of broken out right now. So right here on the sides of my nose and my chin. And I'm gonna try to cover up my eczema pretty good. I really like the way that's looking. The way it's making my skin look, it just looks very healthy and moisturized. It doesn't look like I have foundation on. It literally, let me zoom you in more. It literally just looks like my moisturized skin. And I don't think I need to go over it with my sponge. I quite like the way it's applying with a brush. I'm just gonna see how much I can build the coverage up. Not much. And it is definitely a light coverage. I'd say you could, exactly what it says, you could probably do anywhere from sheer to maybe medium if you really went in with a lot. Now, something I don't love about foundations and compacts is there's not usually a lot of product in them because it's solid or whatever in a pot. It's not usually a fluid ounce. It's only 0.35 ounces, 10 grams. So it's not a ton of product. So I don't know how I feel about that, but maybe since it is so solid in there that maybe it'll last a little bit longer. I will say, good Lord, this compact becomes a mess immediately. Like if you're really, you know, getting your brush in there, it's a mess. You know what? It's definitely like gotten rid of the redness around the zits a little bit, but it's not like covered them fully, which that's kind of what I usually go for anyway. So I'm kind of okay with that. Let me take it down my neck because it is a little yellowish in tone for me. Huh. I quite like that. And I don't even know that I would build it up this much if on a regular basis when I wear this, because as you guys know, I typically go for a light coverage, so I don't really need to build it up that much, but I just kind of wanted to see how it would build up just for the testing purposes. Wow. I quite enjoy the way that looks. It does not look like there is liquid foundation on my skin at all. It does not look like there is makeup. It straight up just looks like my skin is a little bit more evened out and moisturized. So it's pretty dewy right now. And I did literally put on a facial oil and moisturizer not that long ago. So that's not surprising, but we'll kind of see how it dries down as we go along. I quite like that. This is gonna really bother me. I can't deal with when makeup gets super messy. Yeah, that's better. Okay, that is the Tinted Moisturizer Foundation Base. I'm gonna let that sit for a bit while we do our eyes, and we will go from there. So for the eyes, I'm very excited about this. I have the Smashbox Always On Cream Shadows, and I have a lot of the shades. And there were even more shades than this. They came out with some really nice shades in this range. There are quite a lot of shades, and I have quite a few of them here. 1, 2, 3, I have 6 shades here. I mainly have a lot of the neutrals. Okay, so let me actually swatch these for you. So here are the shades here. Let me just name them off for you so that'll make it a little bit easier. So we have Rose, and then we have Sepia. Here we have Amber, Greige, Sienna, Olive, and Ochre. Those are really pretty. I'm so excited. So what I really like about cream shadows is you don't necessarily have to put down a primer for these because they kind of are a primer in themselves, supposedly. So I do like that and I'm excited about it. I don't know what shades I want to go with. I do have some other eye products, since these are all matte, something with some shimmeries in it to put on top. Maybe I'll just start mixing them, huh? Maybe let's start with Amber and then go in with like Sepia or Greige. Maybe even the Olive. Should we do Olive? Should I go like Ochre and then Olive? Maybe so. Okay. So typically with cream shadows, I love cream and liquid shadows. And I especially love matte ones like this that you can just, they're just so soft. Oh, I love that. So typically I do put them on my bare lid. I find they blend a lot better that way and I can get a better idea of how they actually work. And I do use like a combo of my finger and brushes when doing this. So, okay, let's start with the shade Amber. I'm actually just gonna add a little bit of the shade to the swatch and kind of work my brush into it. This is just a fluffy little brush. And let's start blending it. Oh, that is so nice. Blending it into the crease because I really wanna have a nice gradient. And something else I really love about cream eyeshadows, and that's why I got so many of these shades, because one, they're beautiful shades. 2, I love these for day to day. Like I literally will just straight up squirt some on the back of my hand, tap my finger into it, blend it with my finger, just blend it out, 1 shade, and you're done for the day. Like, I love that. I think it's so easy. I think these are great for people who don't do a lot of makeup and they just wanna have something really simple that they can just kind of throw on with their fingers and be out the door. And if these last really well, which Smashbox, they're always online, everything in it is so long wearing. So I have quite high expectations for these. And I would definitely love to do just an all matte look with these. These are giving me quite a nice amount of playtime before they dry down. I think they have a great amount of time to blend them out. Look how pretty and soft that shade is. This is the shade Amber, so this is the shade I'd probably recommend. If this shade or Sepia, or even Grayish, or Rose if that's kind of your tone. Whichever of these neutral colors that you kind of lean towards, just pick one up and throw them on for just to run out the door. Or they're great to travel with, because like I said, you can literally just squirt a little bit out on your finger and blend it out on your lids. I mean, super easy. Okay, I kind of like where we're at there. I think next, I'm just trying to decide which route I want to go down. Warm or cool tone, basically. And I feel like I'm gonna go warm because we've kind of started with Amber. If I wanted to go cool, I probably would have started with Sepia. Okay, I think I'm gonna go in with Ochre next. So I'm gonna do the same thing because I wanna slowly build these. I'm just gonna start, oh, these are so pretty. Honestly, going all the way across my lid and up into the lower part of my crease. Okay, I think that's plenty of yellow for me. That one, pigmented. I'm actually gonna go in with some more of Amber to kind of hopefully try to deepen the crease a little bit. Wow, that's such a pretty mustard shade. I love the way these 2 colors are mixing. They're so nice. When I'm using powder eyeshadows, I often will go in with a clean brush and just blend over the edges, which you could do that here as well, but my favorite thing to do is just to use my finger around the edges and just lightly blend with my fingers. And I think it works so nicely for cream shadows. I like how this is looking. Let's start to deepen it further. Where do I wanna go? Where do I wanna go? I think I don't wanna go with olive green because I'm gonna be putting a shimmer on top of it later, and I feel like that's like a whole moment in itself. I think I'm gonna go in with sienna in the end. What I'll do, okay, I want to use as many of these colors as I can today, just to test them out. I'm gonna go in with Sepia next, which is the more neutral beige color. So I'm gonna take a little bit denser of a fluffy brush, a little bit smaller area than the other one that we were using. And I'm gonna start focusing this on the outer corner and blend it to the crease to deepen that just a bit. Make it a little bit more brown so that we can transition to that gorgeous brick color. You know what? I wish I would have gotten a deeper warm brown, and I do believe they have one. I should have gotten one. If I like these, there's a solid chance I'll be picking up more shades. Because they have like, not only the olive green, but they have more of a, like a tealish green, and they had like a blue. They just have some really pretty colors in these. And I believe they have like purple, and I think they pretty much have all the colors. Okay, I really like how this is looking. Okay, let's really add some depth with the shade Sienna. Now I'm gonna go in with a real small brush because I don't wanna go overboard here. This brush, I love this brush for cream eyeshadows. It's one of my favorites. This is from It Cosmetics. It doesn't have a name on it, but it's a very small shadow brush. It's pinched, but it's fluffy, but it's really densely packed. So it's great for cream product. So I'm gonna take a little bit of the sienna color, work it into this brush, and I'm gonna start tapping it on the outer corner. Okay, I love that color that we're getting there. I'm taking very small amounts at a time because this thing pigmented. Okay, I really like where that's at on that side. Let me match the other side. Okay, I like where the red is at. I'm gonna go back in with a little bit of sepia, kind of just merge those two together. I wonder what would happen if I actually mix these two shades. Let's try it, shall we? That's the other thing about these, is that if you get a few of them, you don't have to get as many as I did, but if you do like cream shadows, or if you buy one and you find that you like it, you could pick up another shade and maybe pick up something complementary that you could straight up mix them together. Like I could take this red and yellow here and make a nice orange, you know, color theory. Like, look at that. I'm gonna stop there because I'm too obsessed with making them too even and I need to calm down. Okay, those are the matte shades in this situation. Okay, I am gonna fix this. Can't leave it alone. Pretty even, okay. Wow, that is so nice. And when I use these, I'm probably realistically not gonna use as many as I did today. Like there's no need for me to use 4 to get one eye look. I realistically would probably use 2, maybe 3 max, most likely probably 1 or 2 at a time for an eye look. But this is a really nice formula. I really, really enjoy this. We shall see how it wears, but right now I'm really enjoying it. So for the shimmers I mentioned, let me wipe my palette off the back of my hand real quick. I'll wipe this off so I have a clean palette here to work with. Look at this, I'm going over with a makeup wipe. And these are quite hard to remove. That is a good sign as far as longevity. Means they're gonna last really well. And this is a makeup remover wipe. It's not like I'm just wiping it with something like water or a towel or whatever. It's actual makeup remover. Wow, okay, mostly clean. Wow, that's impressive. And now for shimmers. I have from the drugstore these little palettes from Revlon. Revlon came out with this whole new line called the So Fierce line, and this is the Revlon So Fierce Prismatic palettes. And I have 2 of them here. I think there were 4 or 5 variations of these. I have 2 of them here. I have the shades Tantrum Caprice. Yeah, Tantrum Caprice. Is that one? And that's a Dub Victoire. Weird names. But here they are. Some nice neutrals in here with like that nice plum in there and this nice coral in here, but they're all shimmer palettes. There's no mattes in them. And they aren't like super metallic. They're more of like a satin with a bit of a sheen to them. So they would be fine for doing a whole look with these. It wouldn't be like weird putting glitter all over your face. But I am gonna use one of these to top my look here today. I think this one over here, I mean, clearly this is the more bronzy palette, but I think this one on the far end is gonna be, yeah. Oh, these are pretty. This is the 2 on the end here. This is the second to last, and this is the last. That's really nice. Why don't we just have a little swatch party here? Okay, so this is the Tantrum Caprice palette right here. Really nice. And this is the other one. Now, interesting, because the deepest shade here is quite a bit more matte than the other 2. It still has a bit of a sheen to it, but definitely not metallic like these other 2 on this side. And these 2 on this side, the darkest one and this lightest one are more matte. So kind of like a matte, more satin cream and a deep purpley, cool toned, brownish color. Really pretty though. I think I will go in with the bronzier since that's where we're at today. This is often how I decide what lid shade to do. So I'll put them on my fingers and I just hold it directly in front of the look. I do think I want to do this one. And then I'll just turn my finger over. Ooh, maybe I'll do both. Wow, these are so soft and thin feeling. I'm just gonna take that over my entire lid. See what I mean? They're not super metallic. They're more of a soft shimmer, but still really pretty. I quite like that. But I bet if I wet them, they would get super, like so much more metallic, which I think is what I'll do right now. So I have that lid shade down. Now I will use my brushes and spray it with a setting spray. Sneak peek for later on. Oh yeah, that's nice. I also like doing this, in case you want to know other reasons to do this, is if there's a shimmer that's kind of chunky, like it seems like it might give you some fallout, this will definitely keep it from doing that. And this definitely does increase longevity. Now that looks quite nice. And I think I am gonna go in with the other shade right here and take it down the middle since it was a bit lighter. Just a little bit of contrast. Not too much, but just slightly. Okay, I like that. It's very soft, but I think that's really nice. I think they're pretty. They do have some other little quads that have a lot more bright colors in them. Not really my thing, but if it is yours, I think this formula is pretty nice, honestly. Interesting, interesting eye look we've got going on here today. Let's go in with concealer, huh? For concealer, I have the new Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage Brighten and Correct Duo. So, is this a concealer? I'm gonna use it as a concealer today. I don't know, it's a dual-sided. And do they actually say, yeah, so one side is correct and one side is brighten. So this side says correct, this side says brighten. I have the shade 2C because I like a little bit more of a peachy concealer. These are quite light. They're much lighter than I expected. I feel like I know the Laura Mercier range pretty well, so I expected 2C to be a little bit darker, but we make it work. I think what I'm gonna do is go in with the correct side first and use that like a regular concealer in the places that I would to correct / cover. I'm gonna blend it out. I'm gonna use a brush because this is stick and I feel like I don't know if my sponge would work on this really well. Okay. Let me try going over this with my sponge. Yeah, it's having some effect. I think it's probably best to go in with the brush first to get it spread evenly and then the sponge to kind of press it in a bit further. My forehead right here is twitching. And I can only see it really up close. Okay, then I'm gonna go in with the Brighten side and I'm gonna take that like on my inner corner and just highlight with it, I guess, because this doesn't have a ton of coverage. It is kind of truly like a little highlighter. And I don't typically do this and put this much like of a concealer product in so many places, but I did feel better about it when I blended out the correct shade because it doesn't look heavy, even though I put quite a bit there. This formula is very thin. It doesn't feel thick when I draw it on. It didn't give me like super whole coverage. So I don't know if you would even necessarily want to use this as like your only concealer. I don't know. I kind of like it just because it's kind of a lighter option. Maybe I can kind of cycle between this and my Becca corrector. But it is definitely interesting. I don't know if I would call it a concealer, but it kind of works that it doesn't give me a ton of coverage since I'm wearing the Stila Balm that is light coverage. So it doesn't look too weird with it. And it is kind of refreshing to have something that's not so full coverage on my face. I don't know, I kind of like it. Okay. Interesting. I feel decently covered. It's not a full coverage situation, but I'm kind of okay with that. Let's do something about my lower lash line, huh? Okay, I'm just gonna go in and make it pretty simple. Yeah, I'm gonna go in with shade Amber on my lower lash line. Okay, and then I'm gonna take Sienna, the deep shade, on a very small pencil brush. Okay, so that is the lower lash line. Blended really nice. Okay, let's move on to eyebrows and mascara. So, you guys, I have 2 mascaras to try. First, we have the new Bite Beauty Upswing mascara. And then we also have the new Lancome Idole mascara. So we have both of these mascaras here that I'm gonna be trying today. And I'm gonna put them on each eye and we're gonna compare them and see how it goes. Let's see what the wands look like. The Bite one has a nice hourglass shaped wand. It's a bristle wand as well. So that tells me it's gonna give me a lot of volume. It's also quite a large wand. And then the Lancome has a rubberized wand. It's a little spiky. It has a little scoop in it. So those usually give me a little bit more length, but there are quite a lot of bristles on it. So definitely has potential to give me some good volume as well. So let's go ahead and do 1 coat on each eye and see what we think. So the Bite, it's gonna be on my right eye. Wow. That is just 1 coat of the Bite Upswing mascara on this eye, and it's giving me quite a lot of volume already. I'm really liking the way that looks. Now I am gonna do my typical method that I do with mascara, where I do a coat, let it dry down, and then add. I find that it just builds the best that way, and I see the full potential of the mascara. So that's kind of the method I'm gonna be going in with today. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the Lancome Idole mascara on my left eye. Okay, and that is 1 coat of the Lancome Idole mascara on this eye. And I can see a pretty big difference in the two already. The Lancome is giving me a lot of length and separation, and then the Bite is giving me a lot of volume, but it's very clean volume. Let us continue with the brows. So for brows, I have a lot of drugstore things here to try today. First, for tinted brow gel, I did actually try a version of this in my last first impressions video. This is the Wet n Wild BrowSessive brow shaping gel, but I have the tinted version because I didn't realize there were tinted versions. So I'm gonna be trying that, and I have the shade Blonde because my eyebrows, I usually go with the blonde shade because they're so light. And then after that, we'll be going in with the Wet n Wild BrowSessive brow pencil. Also, oh no, shade Taupe, okay. And then I have a couple brow pens as well I want to try and see. This one's from Loreal. This is the micro ink pen, and I have the shade light brown, light brunette. And then this is the NYX Lift and Snatch brow tint pen in the shade Taupe. Here it is. So let's first go in with the tinted brow gel and see how it's going. Now I did like the clear version. I thought it was nice and tacky and held my brows really nicely. So I can tell right off the bat this is quite a wet formula, so I'm gonna have to be pretty careful with the way I apply it so it doesn't make a huge mess. Ooh, see, it's getting kind of messy. Also, I don't love this shade. Yeah, that's too warm. Yeah, that is not a good shade for me. Not loving that. Let's go ahead and do the other brow. Yeah, it kind of got a little messy because the formula is it's kind of too wet for my preferences. That's not a great start to the brows. Let's go back to the mascara, to a place that I think I'm really liking where it's going. I'm gonna do another layer of each. I really like that Bite mascara. It is building a lot of volume really beautifully, giving me some really thick lashes. I'm really enjoying that. Yeah, the Lancome is giving me a ton of length and also a decent amount of volume. It's not like just strictly lengthening. I really like the way it's making my lashes look. I think it's a nice all-rounder mascara, and then maybe the bite's more of like a dramatic volume, intense lash. But I'm really enjoying the look of both of them, honestly. Okay, let's keep moving with the brows. I think what I'm gonna do is I usually use brow pens to touch up at the end after I've done clear brow gel. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, but I kind of wanna get a good idea. Let's just try. Let's just try them out. So I'm gonna go in with the NYX one first. We're just gonna do some little strokes and see. So when I swatch it, I can actually see it. But when I put it on my brows, I cannot see it. It gave me like one good stroke out of it, and then it was just kind of gone from there. I mean, look, if I just do those light strokes, there's barely anything showing up on my skin in general, which is what you want when you use these. You want to use the tip to make a really precise stroke, like a hair. Okay, let's go in on the other brow with the L'Oreal. Now this one is more of like a felt marker almost, and it has the little, can you see the little perforated edges that kind of make 3 brow strokes? So you can draw it this way to give you multiple strokes at once, or you can use the tip just to do one. Now this seems to be a bit more pigmented. Yeah, this one's giving me a lot more. Okay, those are okay. I definitely think out of the two, I prefer the L'Oreal. It's definitely more pigmented. Let's go in with the pencil to kind of shape these out a bit, because I prefer to go in with the pencil to define the bottom of my brow. Seems like an okay shade. It's just also a little warm, which is weird because it's taupe. The shade is taupe, and taupe is usually a lot more cool toned, which is why it's a shade I often pick up. This pencil feels kind of waxy, not my fave. I don't think it's as pigmented as I would like it to be. Okay, let's go in with the clear brow gel. I don't think I mentioned this yet. This is the NYX Brow Glue. So I'm pretty excited about this, you know, glue. It's kind of supposed to be pretty strong holding, so we shall see. It's a little tubey tube. I do like the squeezy tubes so that you can really get out all the gel. You can use up like the whole product, and it has a teeny tiny little spoolie with it. So let's run this through. Oh yeah, it actually does feel quite tacky, like immediately, which is a good sign. It means it's probably gonna be holding my brows pretty well. Okay, I like the shape that that gave my brows, nice and floofy. Okay, my brows just look so warm. I don't know about that. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry down, and then I'll go in and kind of fix it. I might have to grab one of my other brow pencils and fix it a little bit because it doesn't look good. I'm gonna do another layer of mascara real quick, see if I can really max out how much I can build these mascaras. Okay, so I have built these up as much as I can, and you can definitely tell that the Lancome is giving me a ton of length, and the Bite one is giving me a ton of volume. So they're both very intense mascaras, actually, just in different ways. And I really like them both, actually. That's looking good. If these continue to wear well, I mean, I would wear these a lot, honestly. They make my lashes look really nice. Okay. Let's continue. Let's move on to bronzer. This is a bronzer I mentioned in my previous first impressions video. This is the Physicians Formula Matte Manoi Butter Bronzer. Now, in my last first impressions video, I tried out the All-Star Face Palette. Yeah, the All-Star Face Palette from Physicians Formula, and I didn't love it. I just recommended that you guys just pick up maybe the bronzers individually. And this is a new bronzer that was featured in that palette, but now they've released it in a single. So I picked it up, and basically the difference is the Physicians Formula is, you know, more glowy bronzer, not super shimmery, but a little glowier. If you wanted to see how glowy it is, you can check out my my favorite powder bronzer video. I compare it to not only my favorite matte bronzers, but my favorite shimmery bronzers, and it definitely lies somewhere in the middle. Now I did pick up the shade, just the shade Bronzer, which is the shade that I use in the original Butter Bronzer. And the difference with these apparently is that there is Manoi butter in this one, and the other one features Maru butter. So I don't know why that makes them different, but it does. And it has a different scent as well. It smells more floral, and I don't think this scent is quite as strong as the original Butter Bronzer, because that bronzer smells very tropical, very coconutty, and it is really strong. Like, it will take over my whole drawer of bronzers. It'll smell all like that one bronzer. But this one's not quite as strong. Like, I can't smell it from back here, from like far away. Because from far away, I would definitely be able to smell the original Butter Bronzer from quite far away. Oh God, the brush fell out. So there's always a little mirror and a brush that comes in the bottom of these. I also like the little nude packaging they did for these. It's really pretty. And I have the new packaging of the original Butter Bronzer as well, which looks similar to this, but I don't think the bottom is nude. No, I don't think so. Anyway, let's see. And I do think the shade is a bit warmer than the original Butter Bronzer. Yeah, it's not quite the same shade, even though it's called the same shade. You would assume it might be the same shade, but it seems kind of different. So I'm just gonna go in with my trusty Real Techniques bronzer brush, and we're just gonna bronze up the face. That looks really nice. I'm gonna go in with a smaller brush, continue to kind of concentrate this into my contour areas, even though it's pretty warm, just to add a little bit more definition to the face. That is really pretty. I really like that. And now I can tell for sure that in that last video where I tried this bronzer, I mixed it with the Butter Bronzer and it looked super orange. Now I know that that was because of that foundation, because it definitely doesn't look super orange now. It looks great. I think it looks so pretty. That is really nice. I really like that. That's pretty, even though it definitely is warmer than the original Butter Bronzer. The original Butter Bronzer has a little bit more of a golden undertone, whereas this one is a little bit more like on the orangey side. It's not orange, but it's a little more on the warm orangey side tone of things. Okay, that's really nice. Let's do something about my eyebrows. Let's try to fix it a little bit. So you see how there's this bald spot right here? I'm gonna try to fix that with the L'Oreal brow pen and try to fill that in. Oh, it's a little better. Do the same thing on this side. It's just so warm. Okay, I am gonna try to fix it a little bit with my Benefit brow pencil because it's bothering me, the color. That's probably as good as it's gonna get. If the color was a little better, I would really like these products because I like the look that my brows have right now. You know, they're nice and fluffy and bushy the way I like them, but the color is just not, it's not the right color. Okay, let's move on. Let me throw on some blush because I don't have a highlighter here to wear. I'm probably just gonna throw on one of my highlighters in a second. Maybe I'll wait until the end to see because I do have a little bit of a glow, and maybe after I do setting spray and stuff, I'll be glowy enough for my preferences, but I do like to glow. For blush, now this isn't actually a new blush. This is just new to me. I've heard a lot of good things about it. This is the Almay Healthy Hue blush, and this is the shade Nearly Nude. So it's a really nice warm nude color. It's really pretty, and it is a powder blush. It's not what I would pick, but I did want to try it because I've heard a lot of good things about it, and it does seem to have kind of a sheen to it. You can see the little bit of reflection. Let us try it and see quite pigmented. It's definitely showing up like immediately. You know, it really does make such a difference when they have just a little bit of a glow to them. Like powder blushes, powder blushes and powder bronzers, frankly. But I really like matte bronzers as well. Anyway, but especially with blushes for me personally, I just always reach for blushes that have one cream blushes. First of all, always cream blushes. But if I have to pick a powder blush, I need it to have a little bit of a glow to it, a little bit of a sheen. It can't just be like a flat matte, even if it's just like a satin finish, kind of like this one is. I definitely much prefer it. Like, I want to see if you can see if I really run my finger in it. Oh yeah, you can totally tell. There on my hand, it's glowy and it looks really nice. It's really pretty. Okay, so that's blush. Looks nice. Lips last. So for lips, I have, oh, I got them dirty. The nice white packaging got into my makeup. Oh no. So I have, these are new from IT Cosmetics. These are Pillow Lips Solid Serum lipsticks. It doesn't really say lipsticks, sure. And I have two shades. I have Humble and Wistful. So they're nudie shades. And these are like a little click up pen. So they're non-retractable. So once you click it up, you can't click it back down. Okay, so here is Wistful and here is Humble. They honestly look so similar. I thought they were gonna be a little different. You can see if I turn to the side there, Wistful's a little bit more pinky and Humble's a little warmer. So I think I'm gonna go in with Humble because we're warm. Just throw on a little lip liner real quick. Now I'm gonna throw on the shade Humble. They taste like dental floss. I know that's weird, but I swear they taste like dental floss. That's pretty. I kind of expected these to be a bit more like the Cosmetics lip cushions that I know and love deeply. And they are kind of similar in the fact that, you know, they're a solid lip gloss type of product that is, you know, very shiny and balmy. These are definitely thinner than the Cosmetics lip cushions, if you're familiar with that formula. And also the Cosmetics are more opaque in color and these are more sheer. And they're not quite as emollient as those. They are emollient, but you can really press into your lips and not a ton of product is gonna come off. Now with the Cosmetics, they are much more emollient. If you really rub it on there, it's really gonna swipe on real thick. So that's kind of the difference there, because that's what they reminded me the most of product-wise. I do really like them. I think they're exactly what I typically wear lip-wise. It's, you know, a thin, balmy kind of lip product that's shiny and comfortable, and moisturizing. I love it. And you know, it says it has serum in it, so that's hydrating and great. So they look really pretty and I like it. I do have one last product to try out, and it is a new setting spray. I know that there is a truck in the background backing up, but there's a construction site right next to our apartment. And it's just the way it is. It's frustrating, but it's true. So this is the new Benefit, the Porefessional Super Setter. So this is supposed to be a really long lasting makeup spray. And I did use this earlier when we were wetting our eyeshadows. So I got the spray started and it looked really nice. So that's the spray, very thin. It's a very fine mist, so. I have the fan on in this room right above me, so it's kind of blowing it away. That's why I sprayed it so many times. So I won't know if this lasts well, you know, until I wear it for a long time. So I'm gonna wear it today and see how it goes. It has a pleasant smell. It doesn't really smell like too perfumey or anything. It smells pleasant. It's not like a harsh smell. The mist is really fine, really comfortable, and really pleasant to experience. So I like it, and we will see if it's effective, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. So in conclusion, this one went a lot better than the last one did, and I hope we continue along this route. So if you like this type of video, please give this video a like, and let me know down in the comments if you're planning to pick any of these things up. Let me know if there are any products that are coming out that you are really interested in so that I can try them out and review them for you guys. With all that said, thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!